Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on back to the channel. I hope that you're having a stunning day out there. Whatever your day has in store for you, we know what it has in store for you, at least for you clicking this video and for the next at least few minutes, depending on how long you stay here. And, you know, whatever it holds for you outside of this. I hope that it's something good. Today, we are diving into a full album listen. We are going to take a listen to The Choir. We're checking out their 1990 album, Circle Slide, which is their sixth studio album, released in 1990. We are checking this out as this was suggested and sponsored by Will. Will, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the over-the-top support as well. I really, really appreciate that. We've never listened to anything from The Choir. I can't say that I've heard of the band myself. Doesn't look familiar. You know, there's sometimes bands and such that at least look familiar in a certain way, but I can't say that the band looks familiar at all looking at this album. So this will be something completely new to listen to. I hope you guys are here for it. My wife and I just got back from my mom's house on the way, picked up a little coffee, and I'm ready to go. Did all the work has been done in the morning, all the housework and, you know, all that stuff done in the morning. Now we could just relax, check out some music, and have a good time between us all. So I hope that you guys are here for it and hope that, you know, something you get out of it. Of course, and as always, get the plugs out the way. The Buy Me a Coffee is there. If you'd like to be like Will and sponsor a song request or even an album request, you can do so over there. Patreon, oh, wrong finger. Patreon for exclusive content. I should say wrong hand. And then, of course, here on YouTube, if you don't mind pressing the like button before we even dive on in, that helps a great deal. So, what do you say we begin here with the first track? It's the title track of the album, and also the longest one. I like that. 7 minutes long. Circle Slide. When I think of a circle slide, I think of going into a slide, like a kid, like a playground, and you're just going in circles. Somehow you end up back at the top. So let's start from the top. Circle Slide. And of course, here's to you. And I already like the sound of it.
Some children cheer because the ground is melted where the devil stood. Never mind the carnival in your old neighborhood. Come on, let's ride the circle slide. Circle slide.
It has a very talk kind of sound, doesn't it? Especially that guitar tone. It's very windy and ethereal. Sax. We may be in for a pretty good time.
Around my neck against my heart, I wear a wooden cross, and sometimes I remember what freedom costs. Shake off your golden shackles, children of time no more. Consider now the crimson crown. The man of sorrows wore. Come on, let's ride. The circle slide.
What a feel-good sound.
Let's ride. The circle slide.
Just dropped out. I love the way the sax is used to just add another ambience. Especially in like the tones of the guitars back and forth. What a great ambience this is.
I know it's hard to imagine
I could have sat in there for a while longer.
when someone makes you cry. Fire in the heavens and laughter in the sky. Just let the wind blow through your spirit. Let the sun shine on your face. Let's look into each other's eyes and sing Amazing Grace. Come on, let's ride. The circle slide. Come on, let's ride. The circle slide. Everybody ride the circle slide. Come on, let's ride the circle slide.
All the way from the back. That guitar's coming up a little bit more. With the sax punching through. I would say that's a pretty nice introduction to the band. So, as someone that's coming to the band completely new, never heard a thing from them, this could possibly be right up my alley. Very, very much like Talk Talk in kind of like their second half of their career here, and you're not going to find a complaint from me in one bit. This is some really beautifully layered, melancholic music with really awesome guitar sounds and tones that are just allowed to drift in and out of each other with layers and layers of density. Vocals on top of that, just, I mean, very much, I can't help but get talk in my mind. Very much in the mix, but I love the approach of the saxophone here. The sax is going to be performed by Dan Michaels. I really like the approach because at first, and actually for most of the song, when it appears, it's used as this kind of faded in layer of sax that just really melts, and I truly mean melts into the ethereal nature of everything, into the guitars. It just feels like an extra tone in there. It doesn't sound like a sax solo or, it's going to start going into some sort of bebop or anything like that. It just sounds like part of the mix. It's used in a very much more atmospheric and ambient way, rather, at least in this particular track, than like, here's a solo from the sax. So I think that's really smart and such a great way to use it here, especially in that halfway point in this instrumental. In this area here, I love this section a lot. When they just cut away from the music and really everything is just allowed to kind of float in space and echo and rebound against the walls of the studio here. And it just really works in this really cool, very nature adjacent kind of way. And I love the way the guitars come in and out and fade in and out. It's very beautifully dreamy layered section. And then, of course, there's that pause, there's that hesitance, and then the music pops right back in, kind of starting off from where we left off. And I just thought that whole way that was arranged was really, really smart because there's a lot of space that's allowed in this track, which makes sense because this is definitely a track that benefits from that. The vocals here are going to be performed by Feel a Sneeze coming on. I apologize. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay. Lead vocals are from Derry Doherty, who's also handling guitar, bass, and keyboards and EBow as well. And then Steve Hindalong on drums, percussion, harmonica, tambourine, keyboards, some vocals, and additional sounds credited here. And I really like the way that Derry performs the vocals. Once again, this to me just feels like a sonic layering of ethereal sounds and ambience, and everything that each individual member adds upon this just feels like another cloth in the tapestry, I guess you could say. And I like the drum pattern as well, ending on the tom hit on that floor, just to kind of give it a nice big rhythm there, and then everything else is played a little bit more subtly. Just really nicely performed, and it flows incredibly smooth. Imagine one perfect circle above the stratosphere, where lovers hide away and children cheer. Because the ground has melted where the devil stood, never mind the carnival in your own neighborhood. Come on, let's ride the circle slide. Round my neck against my heart I wear a wooden cross, and sometimes I remember what freedom cost. Shake off your golden shackles, children of time no more. Consider now the crimson crown the man of sorrows wore. So I really like this line, shaking off your golden shackles. Gold is good, or typically seen as good, but it's this material things that hold you down and keep you down. And you're not held by those shackles, nor are you held by time. Time waits for no one, and time holds everybody prisoner in one way or another. So, it's gaining freedom from that. I know it's hard to imagine when someone makes you cry. Fire in the heavens and laughter in the sky. Just let the wind blow through your spirit. Let the sun shine on your face. Look into each other's eyes and sing Amazing Grace. Come on, let's ride the circle slide. Let's find that hope. Let's find that resiliency. Be free from the things that can hold you down. Be free from greed and time, as he says, which time includes life, but also towards death. Like, be free from all these things and find freedom in a deeply spiritual way there. I think that's incredibly beautiful, matching the music as well. What do you say? What say you? We move on to the next track here, which is If I Had a Yard.
If I had a yard,
Right into it.
I would play in it. We could play in it.
Very great drum pattern too.
If we had a yard, if we had a yard, if we had a yard.
Really nicely moving on the kit.
On a sunny day, I would play croquet. In the early spring, you could grow green things.
Purple flowers.
Should the children frown,
Hey,
we would hose them down.
the way the bass is pumping up the drums. Pumping up the drums. Some really great guitar ambience in the playing. I like that psychedelic side here.
Sleep outside at night when the moon is bright. Watch the laundry wave, dig the dog a grave. Drink the acid rain.
That drives you up,
Till we
man.
go insane. If I had a yard, I would play in it. We could play in it. If we had a yard, if you had a yard, if I had a yard.
Pops back into that chorus. That wah on the guitar has a very vocal kind of sound to it. First, it sounded like there was some drums overdubbing. Maybe not quite. I really like the way that he moves on the drums there. Okay, now we're playing. We're playing around now. Okay, he started playing around a little bit there at the very end. I love how, first of all, this one's different from the first track in that it's much more adventurous and more excitable, especially in the beginning, right? It just starts off right at the gate, no pausing, no waits. But it never loses some of that atmospheric sound, especially from the guitars that we had in Circle Slide. This continues that, but puts it down into a more psychedelic way, especially when we get into the drive of the song and we have that wah wah from the guitar. It's very psychedelic. It almost has a vocal kind of aspect to it as well. But the drumming from Hindalong is really, really fantastic. The initial groove, the way he moves from, I'm assuming he's a typical drummer and has the drum set up like anyone else, or for most people besides Ringo Starr. And like, you know, working from the hi-hats, oh, whoops, I hit the microphone, into the toms and working down, but doing that in such a perfectly like atmospheric pattern as well. And just tightly weaving that groove and that circle slide, weaving that circle back and forth. It's just really nice to listen to, and it works really well in creating an atmosphere, but still providing, you know, the drums into it and involving the drums, not just leaving the drums out and, okay, now there's obviously atmosphere because we left out the drums and there's space for everything else. No, include the drums, let them ride, let them play. And I love how Steve includes himself here in the beginning here. It's just a really great way to start, but also keep that momentum going, right? Ba, ba, ba. And great production to allow that kind of circular motion in the way that he builds that momentum. And eventually, after riding that merry-go-round for a little bit, He shoots out of the gate like a slingshot. And I love when that happens too. We get some really interesting drum patterns and reflections here from Hindalong, which I really, really like. Once again, like I said, the guitar is a huge standout, and especially with the, let me see if I can find it. That wow. Yeah, right in here. We get kind of experimental there as well, and just some of the way that it's played. It's a little bit kind of abstract. And then we have some vocal, maybe not samples is the right word, but just some spoken vocals here. That's going to be by Nancy Hindalong that I see here. Obviously, I would assume related to Steve. And I like how those moments are used to break up the track, but also kind of add a little bit of an enunciation to the words that are said before those pauses or those vocals come in as well. So, you know, like when he says, you could grow green things, and then we hear, and purple flowers. And then it talks about children and dig the dog a grave in the garden. Like, we have these kind of back and forth. So it almost adds this little bit of a conversational manner, I would imagine, between a parent and their kid. As I'm assuming that Nancy is Steve's daughter. I'm assuming, just by the voice there. But I really like how that little conversation is kind of added into the mix, just like, you know, Liam's not old enough to speak yet, but you know, those innocent questions that just pop up from a kid, and the answers and the back and forth conversation before they get distracted by their Legos and they go to build those. So I really like how that's done here. But I like all the stopping and starting that's in this track, but still establishing a nice continuous flow. You have the big moments like this, which act as release, but then, well, not near the end, right in here. In the verse, there's moments where the music kind of pauses a little bit more and has a little bit more of a hesitancy before moving forward. So it's just really nice how the track moves, retaining the ambience, but also delivering a nice adventurous drive to it at the same time. And very uplifting as well, and just fun to listen to. I would even say, like, to me, the Talk influence perhaps is obvious on the first track, but there's something a little bit Peter Gabriel-esque, I would even say, about this track. I think in rhythmically, but also perhaps some of the movements and how that was performed. And even production, I'll go as far as to say. If I had a yard, I would play in it. We could play in it if we had a yard. I like how first, you know, he says, if I had a yard, I would play in it. But then he expands that. Wait, we could play in it. We had a yard. You know, so there's that immediate looking not just at the individual, but now looking at others as well. On a sunny day, I would play croquet. In the early spring, you could grow green things and purple flowers. Should the children frown, we could hose them down. Just spray them a little bit. Hose them down. Sleep outside at night when the moon is bright. Watch the laundry wave. Dig the dog a grave. Drink the acid rain till we go insane. And then there's a little insanity. There's a little laughter that pops in up there. So yes, if we had a yard, it would be filled with happy things. But just as life moves forward, unfortunately, other things would happen in the garden as well. If I had a yard, if I had a yard. So it's just this, not only a relatively simple dream of something as simple as, you know, man, if we had a yard, we could do this, we could do that. And just, you know, expand the memories we could have with each other as a family and the different things that come along with that. I like that. A simple, but very human and meaningful thing. Let's move into the next track here, which is a sentimental song. Some of you know, come on, Sentimental Mood. Wrong one? I got you. I got you. Sorry, I had to play a little.
Children tremble, flowers fade so
I like that vibrato there.
Love is strange to understand.
Bah, bah.
Winter winds blow. Does the true steam
How
badly?
the bass holds it all up.
Let your tears fall into my hands. Let your tears fall into my hands. Listen closely, and I will sing for you a sentimental song, and you will know just how I feel. Listen closely, I will sing for you a sentimental song. Hide with me tonight. Love endures the weather. Let the rain make everything new. In the morning, we will dance together. Let my song fall down around you.
I love that little guitar pickup on the
Let
side.
my song fall down around you. Listen closely, and I will sing for you a sentimental song, and you will know just how I feel. Listen closely, I will sing for you a sentimental song.
Sorry, I can't help sometimes. This little echo of voices.
Listen closely, I will sing for you a sentimental song, and you will know just how I feel. Listen closely, I will
This feels like it could be a single from the band here.
sentimental song, and you will know
Very catchy.
love is real. Listen closely, and I will sing for you.
That guitar popping in. Sorry. It's catchy. It's like some extra like echo on the hi-hat there. He's just stressing certain hits of it. Okay, I like the sound of the whole band. I like what everyone's doing, but I can't help but pay attention to the drumming because I'm listening to Hindalong on the drums, and like I listen for these little nuances in his playing that I think are really impressive and add a whole lot of character to the music as well. I can't help, like, to me, like, I'm just listening to it. Like at the very end, the way that he's skittering on the hi-hats, I was listening, and at first, because I'm dumb, at first I was thinking like there's some sort of echo on it, or he's overdubbing some hi-hat hits, like to provide another atmosphere. But no, he was just stressing certain hits as he was playing on the hi-hat, so it was playing a little bit higher. I thought, like, it's a small thing, but it works really well in this track. Okay, I haven't talked a lot about Derry vocally, but I feel like his vocals fit really, really nicely with the atmosphere that they're going for here. And there's a lightness to his approach to the vocals that also feels very relatable and natural, not like overly processed or like just a really good singer who found the right band, the right bandmates and music that they all come together with and play and performs it in a really great way. And I really like the passion with which comes out as we get towards the climax of this track, because at a certain point, the lyrics pretty much, for the most part, repeat themselves. Here, just put you up here with me. Listen closely, I'll sing for you a sentimental song. You'll know just how I feel. And it pretty much repeats from there, except for the final lines of each of those particular stanzas. But as that builds up, you can actually feel that coming from his heart. I'm I'm assuming he's singing about a romantic partner. Could be singing about his wife. He could be singing about a child, like his child, and like just singing about the love that he has for them. But regardless of who that particular recipient of the love is that he's talking about, you can feel it coming from him. And I love the way that it builds up as it comes towards the ending, and his singing just becomes more enraptured by that passion. And it feels so beautiful as he's expressing himself there. Even as he says, I will sing for you a sentimental song, you could almost get the idea that he wrote this song with someone in particular in mind. And I think that that comes really nicely through his singing and through the direction of the music there. I also really like how it builds up, builds up, builds up, and at the very end, it cuts off. Like it's already built up to that head, and then it just kind of cuts off, and we get a little bit more of an intimate way of expression there. I also really like the layering of guitar once again here. At first, you get that very wavering line that almost reminded me of an organ in the way that would play. But you had that started playing in the very beginning, along with some nice bass that held things up and lifted things up, and of course the drumming. And then you had a nice secondary melody coming from the guitar, kind of on the side, that kind of rounded things out and brought a little extra lead into the sound there. So all that put together was just really nice. And like I said, I really like how the chorus builds up and builds up. And this to me feels like it could have been the single from the album. I haven't looked at any information on the album, so I couldn't tell you if this is or not, but we'll figure that out later on at the end of the video. Children tremble, flowers fade so sadly. Love is strange to understand, winter winds blow. Does the truth sting badly? Let your tears fall into my hands. Listen closely, and I will sing for you a sentimental song, and you will know just how I feel. Listen closely, I will sing for you a sentimental song. Hide with me tonight, love endures the weather. Let the rain make everything new. In the morning we will dance together. Let my song fall down around you. Let my song express my love for you, my care for you, and shelter you. And now, as he repeats the end, and the rest of it, the song just repeats the chorus here, but now the lines change, right? First is, you will know how I feel. Then it's, you will know my love is real. Then you will know my heart is true. And you will know how I love you. Ending with the perhaps one of the most common phrases in human history of the I love you, and yet saving that to the very end to make it that much more impactful. And I think that it works. My button's not working. I can't change the screen back to where I need it to be. I don't know why my button stopped working. Is the record... Oh, the recording's doing that thing where... I know what's happening. I know what's happening. Hold on. And now the recording's back, right? Yeah. Okay. Hopefully all of that that worked. I'm sorry for the mistake there. I've noticed that when I have another program open, sometimes it like messes up the recording a little bit, but we should be back to where we need to be. So hopefully that didn't skip too long. But what I was saying, if that did end up skipping, was I like how the final line, the I love you, was saved till the very end, where I think that it's kind of one of the most said phrases in human history. But I like how it's saved to the end to kind of really cement that reassurance there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next track here. Hopefully that error didn't last too long. I hope I didn't lose too much of what we were going over. That's going to be Merciful Eyes. Here we go.
Dear sheriff of treason. Heaven above, show me the reason. Was the ruler of darkness the angel of light? Did I wake up one morning a creature of night? Can a justified sinner discern wrong from right when night?
No, I like how that came in.
Render mercy and grace, red blood rain from the sky. God have merciful eyes, merciful.
I like the backing vocals a lot. It's kind of deeper. Sounds there.
Innocent tears, day of the dancer. Heaven come near, whisper the answer. Did the dead man arise when she entered the room? Did I smell of decay and call it perfume? Should
It's a great line.
justified man know the grave from the womb? When I turn from your face, render mercy, mercy and grace, red blood rain from the sky. God have merciful eyes, merciful eyes.
I love that dusty lead of guitar in the back. Very hollow. I forgot about the sax.
Swear by the ghost,
Forgot about that.
promises broken. Baby, come close. Sorry words spoken. Would the spirit of truth make a liar understand? If I reach for the blue with my face in the sand, could a justified slave call himself a free man? When I turn from your face, render mercy and grace, red blood rain from the sky. God have merciful eyes, merciful eyes. When I turn from your face, render mercy and grace, red blood rain from the sky. God have merciful, merciful, merciful.
There's that nice choir of voices from this. In this particular track, he mentions in the lyrics, and I mean, it says red blood rain, but I can't help but think of a thunderstorm. This sounds to me like an overcast song. This sounds to me like the thunderhead is on the way. The skies are beginning to darken, and the rain is shortly to follow. Because there's something about the tones of the guitars here sound a little bit more melancholic and a little darker than some of the previous tracks, and still lightness, still, building and weaving their particular tapestry of beautiful sounds and kind of ambience, but there's a little bit of a darker side to this. And I like how it really echoes of Thunder as it plays in this track with some of those hits and some of those rises from the guitarist as well. And the whole thing just has a little bit of that sound to it to me. But then it's also cooled down as when there's a thunderstorm approaching, which we're very familiar with over here. When there's a thunderstorm approaching, all the humidity goes away, all the temperature goes away, the air just looks a little blacker, and then the storm's coming typically right after. And so I feel like, once again, we have a little bit of a return of the saxophone, it sounds like in here. You have that. It sounds like you have some keys underneath it, like some held sustained notes and chords underneath. And to me, that kind of acts as the cooling mechanism of this track as well. So it all turns it kind of into a slightly overcast, not a stormy track, but like I said, just overcast and a little dreary, but still with little rays of light and hope kind of poking through. And I just really like the way that all of that's performed there. In this track, you have Jerry Chamberlain on some of the backing vocals, as well as Robin Spurs on the bass as well on this particular track. And once again, I really like how the bass kind of adds that feel to it as well. And as we get to those harmonies and those backing vocals, even the voices in the back have a little bit of a lower register, and to add to that effect, a darker quality. So it makes this a nice melancholic kind of way to kind of turn things down a little bit near the halfway point of the album, but still retaining the feelings of light and hope as we look into these merciful eyes. Demon of love, seraph of treason, heaven above, show me the reason. Was the ruler of darkness the angel of light? Did I wake up one morning a creature of night? Can a justified sinner discern wrong from right? So not knowing which way to go, not knowing if you were fooled, not knowing who you are. Was I tricked? Am I wrong? How can I discern the right direction from the wrong direction? When I turn from your face, render mercy and grace. Red blood rain from the sky. God have merciful eyes. Innocent tears, day of the dancer. Heaven come near, whisper the answer. Like just whisper the secret to me. Did the dead man arise when she entered the room? Did I smell love decaying and call it perfume? I think that this is honestly the best line in the album so far. Did I smell love decaying and call it perfume? My interpretation of that is like, did I smell the dissolution of love, the romance or love that's ending and on its deathbed, so to speak? And did I say that it was sweet? Did I try to trick myself and fool myself to call it something else that obviously I knew it wasn't? I think that's a very strong line. Should a justified man know the grave from the womb? Swear by the ghost, promise is broken. Baby, come close, sorry words spoken. With the spirit of truth, make a liar understand. If I reach for the blue with my face in the sand. Hold on, let me read this one again. With the spirit of truth, make a liar understand. If I reach for the blue, like the sky is how I interpret it, reach for the sky, but my face is still buried in the sand. Like your face is down, but you're reaching for the sky. Could be said in a few ways. You could be, once again, lying to yourself and tricking yourself, as he mentioned earlier. Like he's reaching for the sky, but he's keeping his face down in the sand, like keeping his head in the sand, like he's not willing to look and perhaps face the truth that he mentions before, or could be bowing down in obeisance. Could a justified slave call himself a free man, even if he's justified but still a slave? Interesting. Some interesting questions in this particular track. But regardless, he pleads to have mercy, even if he's wrong. Even if not knowing which direction to turn, asking for mercy in any direction. There's some good lyrics in that particular track, and some really fantastic lines there as well. Let's move on to the next two songs, actually. We're going to listen to the next track, which is Tear for Tear, not Tears for Fears, which is only lasting a little above a minute. And we'll just let that lead into the following track, which is About Love. Here we go.
I see you well, but I can't tell if you are young or old, dear. I love you so, but I don't know if we are hot or cold here. Until by death we fade, I'll try to trade you grin for grin and tear for tear.
Honestly, a perfect 2 tracks to put together based off of that. It really did just perfectly lead into the next one. So that did act like a nice intro into the jauntiness of this one.
The taste of your sweet breath, the salt of morning tears. Again I say goodbye to you. Hold on tight, so good to hurt so bad, so sad to ride away with you. Go on, laugh, go on, cry. It's alright. There's something wonderful about love.
Sax again,
Something
telling them.
wonderful about love.
See, I just love the way it rises
There's
so long.
something lost about me with you. There's something blind about the chosen few. There's something wonderful about love.
Nice little fill there.
Was I meant to be yours? The will of Christ above. Do you believe true love is blind? 'Cause I don't know. When I get
I like that.
home come spring, won't you be glad to be mine? Just don't laugh, please don't cry. Just say so.
Nice little stops there. I could add a funky little beat to that.
There's something wonderful about love. There's something dark about destiny. There's something blue about you with me. There's something wonderful about love.
I love when he grooves on the hi-hats and the toms. He has a certain way of doing that. Sounds really nice.
Sorry to call so late. The planet turned 4 times. You're on my mind, but you're nowhere in my world. Please kiss the little bird. God bless the cozy cage we share. You kill me, you thrill me, you threaten my dreams, girl. There's something wonderful about love. There's something wonderful about love. There's something liberating death alone brings. There's something funny about a lot of sad things. There's something wonderful about love.
Okay, so we chose the perfect two tracks to put together, and I'm likely going to put the next two tracks together as well. But Tear for Tear was just a nice little introduction, some nice guitar in there, singing. It really wasn't a lot in that track. That was just a nice introduction into this particular track. And okay, this is once again a random aside. Okay, Tear for Tear really sounds like you could have just put that track in the beginning of About Love and just let them ride together for the 6 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever, or 5 minutes and 30 seconds that the track runtime would have been. So why separate them into two separate tracks? I put myself in the mind of the artist of a band, and I feel like it's almost to, for lack of a better word, give one part of the song its due individualistic merit, give it its own title, its own thing to focus on, which would be the song title and of course music in it. And then kind of, I don't know, it just breathes a different kind of light into it, maybe separating the two into halves or so. Well, it's not even halves, it's like 1/3 and then the other third. The other thirds there in About Love. But I just think that that's just where my mind goes as a complete aside. Nothing to do with the music. Okay. Getting back to it. About Love is at this point in the album, as we near the second half and we're going through it, it's my least favorite track on the album so far. I think it sounds nice, it's fine. I think it's still a good track and it's well executed and everything, but I just don't find anything in this particular track that's as interesting or unique to my ears as some of the other tracks here. Like, for example, right now, Circle Slide is still my favorite track on the album. I think that one's just gorgeous in every single way. And every other track so far has been really, really fantastic. About Love just kind of sits at this kind of middling point where I'm like, okay, sounded nice. It was good listen. It was pleasant to listen to. But I just didn't hear anything in here that really, I guess, for lack of a better word, just impressed me or did anything for me. Like I said, everything sounds good. The drumming is still a huge standout to me. I can't help but think that. You have some backing vocals as well involved in this particular track from Robin Spurs and then Mark Hurd here on this one. You get the saxophone rising up a little bit in here again, which is always going to be welcome. Nice guitar. Everything sounds good. It's just this one doesn't necessarily do anything for me. Except the drumming there. There's a specific way that Hindalong plays on the toms and his hi-hat work that I think is really, really nice. And that was one of those sections that kind of exemplified it a little bit for me when he kind of broke away into that section there. I was like, ooh, we're spicing it up a little bit here. This sounds nice. Okay. It's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's look at the lyrics here. Let's go back to Tear for Tear, first of all. I see you well, but I can't tell if you are young or old, dear. I love you so, but I don't know if we are hot or cold here. Until by death we fade, I'll try to trade you, grin for grin and tear for tear. Okay, so I read this as they're both dead. They can't quite see each other in this afterlife. They don't know whether they're hot or cold. I don't necessarily think that's a reference to heaven or hell. Could absolutely be. But I think it's more just, they just don't feel anything. They're dead. But they're kind of in this, I don't know, weird limbo kind of afterlife thing. But their love remains even after death. The taste of your sweet breath, the salt of morning tears. Again I say goodbye to you. Hold on tight, so good to hurt so bad. So sad to ride away you renewed. Go on laugh, go on cry, it's all right. There's something wonderful about love. There's something lost about me with you. There's something blind about the chosen few. There's something wonderful about love. Was I meant to be yours, the will of Christ above? Do you believe true love is blind? Because I don't know. When I get home, come spring, won't you be glad to be mine? Just don't laugh, please don't cry, just say so. Something dark about destiny, something blue about you with me. Something wonderful about love. Sorry to call so late, the planet turned 4 times. You're on my mind, but you're nowhere in my world. Please kiss the little bird. God bless the cozy cage we share. You kill me, you thrill me, you threaten my dreams, girl. Something wonderful about love. There's something liberating death alone brings. There's something funny about a lot of sad things. Something wonderful about love. There's a lot of interest in here. So as you know, obviously the repeated line of "there's something wonderful about love." There's a lot of ups and downs in love, right? There's a lot of, even in the lyrics, you know, a lot of sadness, a lot of laughter, and everything in between, emotionally and such. The cozy cage we share, maybe they're not completely happy. You know, I mean that's normal. It's not always 100% happiness, but you know, this cozy cage, this cage, we're both trapped. So you kill me, you thrill me, you threaten my dreams. You know, there's this deep self reflection on their relationship, and you know, like I said, the ups and downs, the good things, the bad things. He says, "Is this the will from above?" You know, I don't know, but we'll you know, at the end of the day, no matter what, up down, I'm yours, you're mine. And there's something wonderful about this thing we got called love. Let's move on into the next two tracks. I'm assuming that these might go together just like the previous. It may not. I don't know. Because Blue Skies, it's normal, 4 minutes. But then the next track, Laugh Loop, is about 1 minute and 45 seconds. So we'll let these next two go together and see where it goes. Oh my goodness. We got a stand-up bass now?
I've got a cause I should surely defend. I hope you will agree.
I like how empty this is.
I've got a tire I would love to suspend. I'm searching for a tree, and I'm running down the street, but I haven't found my feet. If I close my eyes, will I see blue skies?
I like that
If
synth.
I close my eyes, will I find you? Will I find you?
And there's that harmonica.
I told the truth, and it saved one girl's life.
Look at that bass.
Then a blind man screamed. One sister saw me go under the knife. I'm glad it was a dream. And the night is nearly done, so I'm praying for the sun. If I close my eyes, will I see
Is that choir?
blue skies? If I close my eyes, will I find you? If I close my eyes, will I see blue skies? If I close my eyes, will I find you? Will I find you?
I really like how hollow this track is. It has a nice stylistic difference from the previous ones.
I've got a cause I should surely defend. Most of my friends agree. I've got a tire I would love to suspend. I think I found a tree, but sometimes I don't see you, and I wonder what to do. If I close my eyes, will I see blue skies? If I close my eyes, will I find you? If I close my eyes, will I see blue skies? If I close my eyes, will I find you?
gentle and nice. I like how reflective and introspective that is. Should I let it lead into the next track, or do you think I should put the next two together? I feel like La Flute may lead into the next one, even though it did nicely transition there. I'll let the next two play. Because I want to talk about Blue Skies. Blue Skies, I love how tonally different it is now from the previous few tracks. It is empty. It is a sparse arrangement. There's a nice focus on the drums, but in a lowly kind of earth way. And I think that works really, really nice. He's still like very passionate in the way that he sings and very introspective, very pleading. In a certain way as well, the way that he sings here. And I think that Derry sounds really great when he's in this particular space. There's an emotional depth and resonance that comes through him that feels really, really fantastic. The synth, I guess it is, underneath the music plays really nice. That buzzy sound that just kind of stirs from the bottom. You got a little bit of an acoustic guitar in here. You have what sounds like a stand-up bass as well, which adds this to me, this jazziness, almost a folkiness as well into the music. Is it still going to be Derry playing bass? I don't think so. On this track, you have David Miner performing the bass guitar on here, or the acoustic bass, I should say, which, like I said, I really like that particular tone is really beautiful to me. Obviously, it's used a lot in jazz music, so of course that's going to be right up my alley. And I like the way that it just adds certain elements and a different nature into the music here, along with the acoustic guitar and everything. It just adds a more simple, humble kind of approach to music. And I love how open and like I said, sparse the arrangement is. And it just makes it different. The harmonica is featured here. That's going to be performed by Steve in this track. Like it just is a really nice kind of calm before perhaps the final storm of the following few tracks. So that was a really nice atmospheric place. And I think in listening to the band, I really like the deep atmosphere that they're able to pull up and reveal. And I think that in a track like this, or even in the opening song, the title track, I feel like those are those places where like they really excel in those particular areas here. And I think that in this track, we also get the reference to the album cover here, which has, of course, the tree and the tire swing, which he mentions. I've got a cause I should surely defend. I hope you will agree. I've got a tire I would love to suspend. I'm searching for a tree. And I'm running down the street, but I haven't found my feet. If I close my eyes, will I see blue skies? If I close my eyes, will I find you? I told the truth and it saved one girl's life. And then a blind man screamed. One sister saw me go under the knife. I'm glad it was a dream. And the night is nearly done, so I'm praying for the sun. Because I've got a cause I should surely defend. Most of my friends agree. Got a tire I would love to suspend. I think I found a tree. But sometimes I don't see you. And I wonder what to do. I like that line. First of all, the having a tire and searching for a tree. Searching for a place to, this is my mind canon. If you're going to put a tire swing on a tree, you're doing it not only for your enjoyment, perhaps for your friends' enjoyment, something like if you're a kid, or if you're an adult, you're doing it for your kid maybe, and maybe the neighborhood kids will come play on it. Like it's almost like a small communal aspect there. So he's searching for a place where he can create that. He's got the tire. He's got half of the tools. He's just looking for that other thing. He thinks he's found a tree, but he also is looking for that other person to share that with. So that's what I'm kind of getting from that. I'm not 100% sure this part, what it could be referencing. I told the truth and it saved one girl's life. Then a blind man screamed. One sister saw me go under the knife. I'm glad it was a dream. Not quite sure what's happening there, if I'm being honest. But either way, a nice track. Let's move on. A nice track. Let's move on into the final two songs here. Now we're going to let La Flute play, and we'll let that lead into the final track, Restore My Soul. Here we go. It kind of transitioned off the previous one, but I felt like maybe this will lead into the next one. A little more direct. We'll see. I just noticed the laughter. I like how it's used as part of the rhythm. Trying to tell what's going on here. We're leaving. We're going somewhere. Huh. We'll have to see if we can figure out what was happening there. Big bass in there.
I call to you with one lung exploded from breathing the dust of the earth. With my tongue you wrote it from licking the crust of the earth.
This almost has like a Tony Levin kind of vibe to it.
A prayer away from home. Restore my soul. I cry to you with two eardrums blistered
Some nice keys.
from laughter with pictures of night. With my vertebrae twisted from dancing with creatures of night. A day away from sanctified, a breath away from home. Restore my soul. Restore my soul.
Love that big looming bass. How the guitar has some dirt to it, some grit to it.
I crawl to you with 10 fingers smoking from turning the pages of sin, with my spirit choking from earning wages of sin. A bridge away from justified, a step away from home. Restore my soul. Restore my soul. Restore my soul.
I like that change a lot. I like when they get into this. Kind of works back onto to circle slide too, in a sense. Just end with a straight up jam. That bass line. That's a fantastic way to end the album. I like how. Oh no, move it till it fades out. Let's be respectful here. And in completion, Restore My Soul, the choir, ladies and gentlemen, complete album listen here. Circle slide, the choir. Okay, now I can finish what I was going to say. I like how Restore My Soul is the perfect finale and ending to this album. They give you a little bit of what you want in every single direction. You want a song with, lyrics and melody, singing and everything? You get that in the first half. You want to jam out, rock out to something ethereal, uplifting, and that just feels good? Stay tuned. We got something for you on the back half of this. And I just like how we get a little bit of everything in this particular track. And it really nicely comes off of Laugh Loop. I couldn't quite understand what the story was in the narrative in Laugh Loop was. We heard what sounded like a repeated sample of a child laughing, some car keys starting, a plane. We're going somewhere. I don't know exactly where we're going, but some sort of journey was happening there. But Restore My Soul, yeah. Really, really great. We get the beautiful return of these dusty, melancholic, and ambient guitars that just swing on in. We get a nice melody that sounds very Western. Ba, 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 ba. Like that melody that comes in and all this swirling and effects that come in after that. It just feels like a really great finale to the album. And of course, the drumming is, Steve is allowed to kind of explore a little bit more. He doesn't go crazy. He doesn't, steal the glory for himself, you could say. But, he does hit a little harder, I would say, on the back end there. But yeah, this whole part here is very hypnotic. It has a snaky kind of Oasis vibe to it. That just feels good. And heavy on the percussion. Like I said, a little heavy-handed there on the percussion. But going to the back, the first half, I should say, the front half of this, I like how we build up to that. And even the way that Derry's singing here, he fits so well amongst the bass. There's that bow, you get that little sprongy note in there as well. Like, it just moves in this really, really nice way. And I can't help but think like it just sounds like a desert to me. And perhaps you could even tie that in with the title of the track, Restore My Soul. Finding yourself in it is a desert-like place or a desert-like state. And you're crawling through the desert, you're searching, and you find over in the distance an oasis. You think it's a mirage, but as you get closer and closer, the coolness of the water begins to have its effect on you, and all of a sudden it was real the whole time. So there's this kind of salvation and safety that happens at the very end. And I think that this works all together in this journey. This feels like one of the most complete tracks as well. Not that takes away from the other tracks. That's not what I mean. This feels like a full journey from A to B in just this one track, which works really, really well. Shall we look at the lyrics here? I call to you with one lung exploded from breathing the dust of the earth, with my tongue eroded from licking the crust of the earth, a tear away from reconciled, a prayer away from whole. Restore my soul. You're almost there. Just keep on crawling. I cry to you with two eardrums blistered from laughing with preachers of night, with my vertebrae twisted from dancing with creatures of night, a day away from sanctified, a breath away from whole. Restore my soul. I like how the ending two lines before the restore my soul portion is like you're almost there. You just need a little bit more. I crawl to you with 10 fingers smoking from turning the pages of sin, with my spirit choking from earning the wages of sin, a bridge away from justified, a step away from whole. Restore my soul. So first it's a prayer away from whole, then a breath away, just a breath, and then one final step away from being made whole. Let's go ahead and look at some of the info for this album. Now that we've finished, we can read a little bit about it. I try to save this to the end here. Let's see. Considered by some critics to be the band's best album, called one of the best Christian albums ever made. It'll be the final album that they recorded for Myrrh Records. Does that also have Talk Talk in them? No. I don't know. I was just curious. It sounded like something that Talk Talk would be in here. Let's see. There's a period of personal turmoil for every member of the choir. The extensive time spent in a crowded van for months took its toll on the band's relationship with bass guitarist Robin Spurs, who quit during this recording. She initially returned to her custom jewelry business, then later joined Rachel on tour. While drummer and lyricist Steve Hindalong initially claimed that Spurs would ultimately hate us, the band reconciled with her many years later, expressing fondness for one another. Hindalong's marriage was also under considerable strain due to extensive time on the road, and that would be reflected in the lyrics of Circle Slide, which would musically return to the moody soundscapes the band first explored on Chase the Kangaroo. Dan Michaels, who at the time lived in the area of Pomona, California, with a high incidence of illegal drug activity, was struggling financially to the point he was forced to search sofa cushions for spare change so he and Adam frontman Eugene could play racquetball at a public coin-operated facility late at night. It's definitely a time of turmoil, it seems, for the band. And then Derry Doherty was grappling with equipment issues, including being unable to repair his most prized guitar amps when they failed during recording. Definitely a time of conflict in many different ways. The band once again returned to Neverland Studios to self-produce their album. The band was once again left without a full-time bassist, prompting Hindalong to later joke that bass has been the revolving door of this band. And it goes on to talk about that a little bit more. According to Hindalong, it took about 10 weeks to record and complete the music. Music itself, let's see, obviously it says that Slide was a return to longer ethereal jams that conveyed a sense of longing for rest, peace of mind, and security. To that end, the album kicked off with the title track, which ran more than 7 minutes. The A&R rep was taken aback on a first listen, saying it's a shock for the record company guy to go, "Where's the chorus? We're 40 seconds in. There should be a chorus by now." Well, he said, just no rush, sit back. Let's see. Inspired by a technique used by the church on their album Starfish, Doherty and Hindalong opted to bring the song to complete silence 2/3 of the way in before amping it again. Much like they did on Chase the Kangaroo, the choir continued to experiment, running Michael's sax solo on If I Had a Yard through a wah-wah pedal. Oh, so sax, okay. Sampling Doherty's vocals into a synth on a sentimental song, combining the laughter of Hindalong's daughter Emily with a recording of his Honda motorcycle for a laugh loop. Okay, so it was a motorcycle, not a car. And using alternating acoustic guitar lines that went back and forth between the left and right speakers on Merciful Eyes. There's some production trickery happening, some studio magic. Lyrics. Sometimes maybe our music is too personal, too honest, too specific. Some people complain that we intentionally try to be ambiguous. I do not. I definitely do not want people to be left out. I just try to stick to details. I think the closer you stick to details, the more original the song is. Courtesy of Steve Hindalong there. Says he explains, I don't even know how to write songs about other people's problems. It's funny to me that so much of music in Christian circles are about other people's problems, about how to fix other people. And if I can find something profound looking honestly at myself, maybe it'll inspire somebody and it'll touch something in them. Because the impact of the band's nonstop recording, Hidden Belong's marriage was in crisis. A sentimental song was written as an apology to his then wife Nancy. I still sometimes cry when I play the song live. This is an album of conflict in many different ways, huh? And yet always finding that light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, my favorite song is very easily Circle Slide. I think that it's the best track on the album. I think that it's a high mark. I think the rest of the album is great too. But I just think that Circle Slide is the peak, I guess you could say. And after that, I'd give it to Restore My Soul, especially for that ending jam and where it goes from there. This is a really cool album, and I from the very beginning, from Circle Slide, I knew that we were going to be sliding ourselves on a fun ride with this one. So I enjoyed this. Thank you so much for the exposure and for the request, Will. I appreciate that. I would love to know what you guys thought of the journey, of course, down in the comments below. I apologize once again for the recording error, as I know I'm going to have to probably play around and edit that, add a little bit there. Hopefully not too much was lost, but regardless, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the music. Hope you enjoyed your time as well. And I will see you all next time. Have a fantastic rest of your day, guys. Bye.